Tes, tes. Dicoba, dicoba. Boleh dicoba. Tes. Tes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Tes. Dear judges, you can take your seats in the front of the rows. Okay, siap. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the speech contest of 10 Water Forums with the theme Water for Shared Prosperity. Today, my name is Afid Asari, as your Master of Ceremony. I will tell you the program or the agenda that we will have today. The agenda will be opening and followed by the rules. We have to state it again about the rules so everybody, every participants and also the companions can understand about the rule of the speech contest today. And followed by the speeches, of course. And after that, we have 3 sessions for the speakers here. We have 3 groups because we have a lot of participants, alhamdulillah. And the first session will be number 1 till number 11, hopefully they can come forward, but if the time is still on, we can call to the number 12 or 13 next time. So it is optional. And after that, we have the resting time. This resting time is for praying, duhur, and also we have special meal next time for lunch. And followed again by the next sessions, number 12 to number 21, and followed again by number 22 to number 29. And after all the speeches, there will have discussion from the dear judges. And after that, we have a gift for the dear judges and followed by the winner for the contest. Then we can close the agenda. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let's thank and pray unto our God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for giving us his mercies and blessings so we can attend and gather in this beautiful place and time for the speech contest. And as a master of ceremony, I will try to explain about the competition rules. The first is the participants are required to wear school uniforms and participant numbers. I'm sure that we have discussed this in the technical meeting. And the second is participants must be present at least 30 minutes before the competition times. Participants are prohibited from doing any training while in the competition room during the competitions, which is you can try, you can train, but you do not have to train in this place. You can move to another place if you need to speak by yourself with a voice, I mean. And next is the next 3 participants. So we'll call the next 3 participants to sit in the waiting seats over there. And after that, we will call them one by one to the stages. And the participants who have been called 3 times but do not come, to the stage will automatically be moved to the last place and their score will be reduced. Participants are required to deliver speech according to the text that they presented or they sent to the committee. Participants are given 7 minutes. So we only have a 7 minutes maximum. And we have next time the bell for that. Participants start their speech after the MC informed them that the speech has started. So next time we will call the participant so you can come forward. And after that, you will wait for the bell for start of the speech. So you just stand first, prepare yourself, and after that, there is a bell for that. Participants are not permitted to request a restart from the start unless technical problem or other force majeure event occur. Participants return to their respective seats after completing their performance calmly and orderly. The jury has the right to provide assessment in accordance with the assessment criteria by the committee, and the accompanying team and supporter are required to maintain calm during the competition. One information again related to the mic. Every participant can put the mic over there, or you can bring it. You can take the mic if you feel it is suitable for you to bring the mic. Or if you want to move your hands, you can use the sense mic. Okay. The next, what we should have to remember here, participants are expected not to leave the competition before it is finished. But if you have some of the agenda, maybe you can consult on the committee next time. And we have 3 kind of bells. One bells, like this one, is a signal for the participant to start, like what I explained in the first. We call you, then you prepare yourself, and after that, the bell ring. One bell is for the starting. And the second, 2 times bells, the meaning that your time is less than 1 minute. This one, the indication that only lasts for 1 minute. So you can speed up your speech if your speech still so many speech that you can explain. So you have to speed it up. Okay, and the next is the 3 bell ring, like this one, the meaning that time is over. So whether you have finished your speech or not, you have to stop your speech and you have to say salam and come back again to your seats. Okay, next, the announcement of the first, second, and the third place winner was made after all participants appeared. First, second, and third place winner must be present to receive award at the top event. So the presents or the gift we will be given in national seminar and inauguration of Solo branch of Indonesian Association of Hydraulic Engineers of Hati on 6 December 2023 at ONS Tower, Surakarta. So there will be 1 winner and also 1 companions. You will receive the reward in this time. But the announcement of the winners will be today. Okay, the first winner will have the honor at delivering his or her speech at the top event. So for the first winner, we will invite you to give your speech back again in this agenda. Okay, next, the final result of the jury assessment cannot be contested and participant certificates will be provided at the closing. So every participant will have the certificates and we will provide the certificates after the closing of the program. About the scoring criteria, we have 2 kind of scoring criteria. The first is speech content and the second is performance. So there is 2 kind of scoring here. About the speech content, we have relevance, argumentation, coherence of ideas and dictions. And about the performance, of course, we have a delivery style. We have intonations, articulation or pronunciation, and the last we have punctuality. Punctuality is related to the time. So if you finished before 7 or if you finish after 7, there will be information about that. Okay, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, before we start the programs, or before we start the agenda today, the speech contest, I would like to introduce the honorable juries we have today. The first is Mr. Agus Hariwahyudi, and the second is Mr. Firman Sharifuddin Effendi. Okay. And the third is Miss Fitri Endah Pratiwi. Okay. So all of them will be your juries, and they are the experts in this World Water Forums, and of course, expert also in English. Okay, dear ladies and gentlemen, now welcome to the program today, speech contest. Okay, for the first speaker today, we want to invite our sister Vera Vidya Studi from SMK Muhammadiyah 5 Surakarta. The place is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahilladzi an'amana bi ni'matil iman wal islam wa nusati wa nusalimu ala khairi anam Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, amma ba'du. First of all, let us express our gratitude for the presence of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has bestowed His grace on all of you. Thanks to His blessing, we can gather this bright afternoon in good health and any shortage of anything that we can do this English competition. Distinguished, I would like to deliver a speech on the theme of water for humans and nature. And secondly, don't forget to always give our greeting and getting Prophet the Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his family, his friends, the tabi'un, to all of you, and to all his blessing people until Yawmul Qiyamah in the future. Amin. Ladies and gentlemen, water is one of the three important things for humans besides air and food. In fact, 60% to 70% of the component of the human bodies consists of water. Pressure to utilize more natural resources has increased because world population has increased. There are also 663 million young people live in crisis where do not have water supply close to where they live. So we need to be aware that we are obligated to perceive this nature for the sustainability of water which can increase because of our greed. People in remote areas have difficulty getting it. Water is very worrying. Not water is also one of the important things for natural environment. Without water, there will no plants. Around 60% to 85% of plants need water for the process, respiration, and photosynthesis. We also often hear about deforestation, air and water, population, and change. This increasingly pronounced climate is a saying that nature is crying out for help. Protecting the environment is not just a dream but an action. Let's think together about how important a role protector of nature is for the survival of our generation. We often see about natural disaster and environmental pollution. All of this is the result if irresponsible human behavior in treating nature well. Let's introduce our children to the importance of protecting the environment from early age. With the small step, we can maintain the beauty and also maintain the cleanliness of the air and the sustainability of abundant water source so that Indonesia people continues to get clean and sufficient air. Let's join hands and work together to maintain the beauty of nature and also sustainability of the air on this earth in very simple way. Namely, not throwing rubbish carelessly, not burning using recycled products, and using recyclable and also planting trees of reforestation. Saving the environment starts from the initial action of cleaning and preserving it. That's my speech at this English competition. I want to thank you for jury for giving me the opportunity to stand up and deliver my speech. I am also the audience and competition participant today who have taken to the time to hear my speech. I hope everyone, the audience, can learn something useful from my speech. So I apologize are any mistakes in my words or behavior and thank you. My sister begged her father to be given pocket money. Let's plant trees so it doesn't flood with it rain. Akhirul kalam. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you very much, our sister Vera. It is nice speech to introduce us about how to keep our nature, our water. And the next speaker, we will call another sister again, Miss Karen Manuela Hilda from SMA N1 Sukoharjo. Round of applause for her.
Good morning, everyone, the honorable of the judges in this speech contest, and my lovely friends. Let me introduce myself. My name is Karen Manuela Hilda, and I'm from Senior High School 1 Sukarja. And today I will speak about water for humans and nature. Water is part of our life. I'm sure we all agree with these facts, because since many years ago, water is in every part of our lives. Water is also said as one of the most essential research. Humans can live without food, but not with water. Water can transport mineral, protein, and vitamins to all over the body. Water can regulate body temperature, aids in digestion, and keep our skin healthy because it promotes collagen production. Ideally, we must drink 3.7 liters a day. But if we're not, we would face a problem called dehydrated. Dehydrated could make us struggling to focus and doing our activities. Or worse, maybe dehydrated could cause a vital disease like heart attack and kidney failure. Dehydrated could make body can body cannot have enough oxygen and protein supply to all of our important organs. Other than functional of human's body, water also can use as an irrigation, transportation, and source of electrical power generation or PLDA. PLTA could give us a long-term benefit because it provides good energy and can reduce the negativity in climate change. Water also important for our nature, especially for animal. For animal, water can use for drink, for their digestion, and keep their body temperature. The, especially for aquatic creatures, they need the clean and healthy water for their life. And for the land creatures, they also need a clean and healthy water for their life. But for the nature, they also need a good and healthy river because river is important for the other creatures around it. For the nature and for the plants, water also help their photosynthesis. Photosynthesis can help to transport mineral and protein from the soil. Photosynthesis also help plants to grow. And photosynthesis, and other than photosynthesis, plants also can grow, can reduce their life. Other than the important things of the water, we can conclusion that the water is very important for our lives. The water, then the action that we need to save the water is so important because in several cities in Indonesia, they already experience the water scarcity and droughts. And before it happens to ourselves, we must save our water and use it wisely. The other things that important from water, it's water is so important for humans. Other than for humans' body, water also can use as a transportation, as an irrigation, as other than the important things. I think that's all that I can speak. I hope you can learn something from it. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen, for your nice speech about how the importance of the water. And we want to call the third speaker today. We will to call Miss Krista Bella Kesha. And again from SMA1 Sukoharjo, the place is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the honorable judges, and dear all participants. I'm Krista Belakesha Audiastia Dewi from Senior High School 1, Sukoharjo. I'm really honored to standing here in front of you in this very special occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, before I deliver my speech, I would like to ask you a simple question. I'm sure that most of you know what water is, right? All right, you are now bringing it with you. A cup of water or a bottle of water. But is there anyone of you know what the facts about water? Please raise your hand if you know some of the facts. Right then, the fact is that 71% of our Earth's surface is water covered. And so do our body contain 60% of water too. And that's the topic I'm going to share with all of you today. Water for humans and nature. Ladies and gentlemen, a few days ago, I read a book about the miracle of water. But it is, of course, has nothing to do with a black magic or even Halloween creepy stories. That book really changed my view. And it is too incredible to keep it just for myself because from that book I learned that water, human, and nature have very strong bonds. Here's some of you of them. First, is an important element of informing the bodies of all living creatures. Second, all activities and processes of life, from eating to excreting food remains, from development to reproduction, needs to be carried out with water. Third, plants need sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, temperature, and minerals to photosynthesize. And the last one, even animals need water to live. This shows that behind its simplicity, water holds precious value. But we all know the reality is not as beautiful as in the books. Nowadays, water crisis has become a hot topic in our society. Conference on Water in over 45 years says 26% of the world's population doesn't have access to safe drinking water. And 46% lack access to basic sanitation. Ladies and gentlemen, I live in Sukoharjo. And 4 months ago, record that 720 residents of southern region of Sukoharjo are experiencing a clean water crisis. Unlimited access to clean and safe water is taken for granted in many places, but water scarcity is a growing concern worldwide. Overuse, increasing demand, pollute, lack of infrastructure, poor management, and changes in weather pattern due to global warming is a key stressors that affect the availability of fresh water. In addition, the water scarcity is not just a human problem. Our demands on lakes, rivers, streams can dramatically harm the ecosystems and natural processes that require water. Therefore, conservation and restoration of ecosystems and biodiversity needs to be carried out. We can develop technologies to better acquire or conserve fresh water. Solutions to addressing water include dams and reservoirs, aqueducts, desalination, water reuse, and water conserve. Rainwater harvesting and recycle wastewater also allow reduced scarcity and ease pressures on groundwater and other natural water bodies. Ladies and gentlemen, the Indonesian government has also made many contributions to overcome this water crisis. The government created a program called Sustainable Development Programs or SDGs. One of the indicators is clean water and sanitation. In order to achieve the goal of clean water and sanitation in 2030, targets have been set, which are measured in 40 indicators. These targets consist of access to adequate drinking water, access to adequate sanitation, water and waste quality, as well as utilization, management, and conservation on water resources. To support this program, the Public Works and Public Housing Minister Basuki Hadimulyono encourages the activities of all levels in society. The Public Works and Public Housing Ministry's efforts to encourage the society to save sanitation is developed through the of a centralized domestic wastewater management and local domestic water wastewater management system. However, the solution requires support and participation of all elements of society. And we as the young generation needs to be involved, get involved together and work together to overcome this water crisis. And it is because water is a miracle, the key of life for humans and nature. So that concludes my speech this morning. And the last but not the least, allow me to end my speech by quoting what my biology teacher always said. Be a water sage, conserve at every stage. Let's support the 10 Water World Forum 2024 in Bali. Water for shared prosperity. I wish you a good morning and thank you.
Okay, now we welcome the next speaker will be Yovalia Angelina B from SMA Kristen Wacana Surakarta, and the time is yours.
Okay. Hi, good morning. I'm Yova from Widyawacana Senior High School, and now I will speak about water security and the prosperity. Okay, water. When it comes to water, water is a very important component for our survival, and water is one of sources of energy on this earth. Earth, as a place for human life, provides 97.5% of the water that has a quality for human consumption. And you know, of the 97.5% of the water, only 2.5% of the water that has a quality for human consumption. So this means that the availability of clean water consumed by human is limited. The current trend where the clean water is decreasing day by day, where clean water is increasing, so that this condition causes clean water is decreased. There are severe challenges regarding water resources and its sustainability, such as increasing demand, uneven distribution of fresh water, and the last is increasing water pollution. So now this is a big problem. Why? A good water management will support a good quality of life as well. But without us realizing it, many of us underestimate this and think that water will always be there and will never run out. Well, is it true that water will never run out because of the water cycle where there is a process of water H20 or hydrology that occurs in the atmosphere to the earth? And then the water will return to the atmosphere and always where the water will always return to the earth, stored, flowed, and can also be utilized by humans. You know, in Indonesia, clean water is very, very difficult to obtain, especially during the dry season. Why? The government's role in maintaining water security is also quite adequate, where the government water management will focus on water management. So this is a big problem, right? In fact, what makes the water management not run well? What? The facts. Sorry, the fact is, it's a factor that comes from our own society, the lack of awareness and habits of people who are wasteful and probably has not a big impact of clean water in Indonesia. So the big impact is, for example, when we want to dispose of garbage of the clean water, when we want after eating or drinking that uses plastic or packaging materials, sometimes we are too lazy to find a trash can. So this will cause environmental damage. So did you know that around 60% of rivers in Indonesia are polluted by waste disposed by humans? Did you know that? So I have a story, and I want to tell you about my story. I have a little sharing. So, last month I went to Thailand, and I was surprised that the city was almost so clean and free of garbage. So when I want to drink, I always bring the water bottle in there. So include saving money, okay? So it doesn't cost much to drink. And I think that um, so as Indonesian people, we must be aware, like in Thailand, people. So um, it is important for us to increase our awareness and to increase our awareness and to um, increase our awareness so that I have 3 points for you at first. At first, starting conserve water. If you want, then by the I'm sorry. So I have 3 point for you at first. Starting conserve by finishing water by finishing drinking water in the class, and the second is planting trees. Okay, and then with these actions, with these actions, with these actions, communities can gain adequate uh, to increase productivity as well also overall well-being. So this participation is done to contain from us and for us. So to help the government to maintain the management of the water resources. So this is for my opinion about water security and the prosperity. Thank you for attention.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we welcome the next speaker will be Julieta Amanda from SMAN Godang Rejo. The place is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The honorable educators and all the audiences who have been coming here. On this occasion, I'm going to talk about the importance of water for humans and nature. Water is definitely important for our lives and also to nature. We use it every day for drinking, bathing, cooking, and various other daily activities. Lack of access to clean water can lead to serious problems such as dehydration and the spread of disease. Therefore, protecting clean water is very necessary to maintain the health of many people. Apart from human needs, water also plays an important role in maintaining the sustainability of natural ecosystem. Water provides a habitat for various types of flora and fauna by creating a healthy aquatic ecosystem. Water sustainability also includes protecting water quality so that water water ecosystem can continue to function as pollution absorbers and natural purifiers. Ladies and gentlemen, water pollution is a serious problem. In fact, based on the data from Ecolaton in 2021, 80% of rivers in Indonesia have been polluted with microplastic. The reason is that the rivers in Indonesia are often used as places to dispose of factory waste and rubbish carelessly. It has a negative impact on human and also the nature. An example is the Citarum River. The Citarum River, which is one of the longest rivers in West Java, is facing serious pollution due to domestic and agricultural waste is being dumped directly into the river without adequate management. Decreased water quality due to pollution can cause various diseases and make it difficult for aquatic life to survive. Therefore, by understanding how important water is, we are reminded to be responsible to managing it. And I want to offer some solution to overcome the problems above. Firstly, the factory must reprocess their waste until it is safe to discharge into the river. Safe waste management is really important step to protect the river's quality. Secondly, individual behavior also has a big impact. The habit of throwing rubbish in its place can also help in keeping the environment clean. In conclusion, water is really, really important for our lives and also the nature. Clean water is key for daily needs, but also important for for but also for preventing health problems. In addition, water also plays a role as a habitat for living things. Therefore, by understanding how important the water for our lives and nature, we are reminded to be responsible to managing the water, with the hope that together we can maintain the health and the cleanliness of the water resources. I think that's enough for me. Thank you for your attention. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Miss Julieta. Okay, and the next speaker, we want to welcome Arabel Eltara from SMA Unggulan Rushd. The time is yours.
Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, and honorable judges. What a great day to appreciate the grace of God Almighty, am I right? Especially for the sufficient water He has given for us all today. But why specifically water? Because I'm here today to talk about the importance of building resilience in the world of water. I'm going to be talking about why disaster risk reduction is so important and what efforts that have been done by our government. Ladies, gentlemen, and honorable judges, have you ever think of the importance of disaster risk reduction in our water system? Let's think about it together then. Since water is really important for our daily life, it must mean that water-related risk management is equally important, right? As the human populations grow, the need for water has risen too. And it is important for us to feel the need, especially our country, Indonesia's water need. But how will we fulfill it if we are being threatened by climate change and other kinds of disasters that might affect our water supply system? Well, of course, by managing it, like our Minister of Public Work and Housing, Basuki Hadi Mulyono, said, Indonesia is committed to having water security and sustainability by incorporating climate adaptations and disaster risk reduction into the National Development Planning in the Water Action Agenda 2023. The Water Action Agenda is organized by United Nations in order to find solutions for water-related problems and to ensure the global standards of water. Ladies, gentlemen, and honorable judges, there's so many kinds of disaster out there that can affect our water needs. Let me give you an example as a start. This might be already familiar with you because flood is something that almost common, especially in big cities during heavy rain season. Am I right? But in reality, flood is a disaster because there's so much thing that can happen during a flood, such as water sources contaminations, because flood waters can carry pollutants such as debris and industrial chemicals into our water sources like rivers, lakes, spring waters, our reservoirs, and it can even contain harmful bacteria and microorganisms that could compromise our water quality. And they can even cause infrastructure damage and disease spread. Can you imagine all this unwanted thing happening just from a common disaster that happen so often here and there. Now, let's think about what a bigger disaster such as earthquakes or typhoons can bring to us. Isn't it horrifying, ladies and gentlemen? I can't even think about it. I think after seeing those kinds of disasters, we all can conclude how important disaster risk reduction is for our water needs in the future, especially. Ladies, gentlemen, and honorable judges, the question left now is how? How could we manage the disasters and reduce the risk? Worry not, for our government has already handled it for us. Cool, right? One of the example of the disaster risk reduction project is the 942 project, DKI Jakarta's government efforts to control Jakarta flood. You know, flooding is almost a common thing in Jakarta, and that saddens me a lot. But with this project, this is designed as a flood control, but also as a way to conserve water to a pretty concept and even leveling up the public spaces. How cool is that? Doing disaster risk reduction and beautifying the city at the same time. Cool, right? Well, there's so many other efforts that our government have done for us that I can even talk about it one by one. Um, Ladies, gentlemen, and honorable judges, if an unfortunate event happens one day, it will be very hard for us to face without any preparation at all. That's why preparing for it and educating ourselves in how should we do, what should we do, what's our next step in a disaster is so important. And that's what disaster risk reduction is. But there is another thing that is just as important as disaster risk reduction. And that thing is being grateful for what we have now. I believe if we already experience a water-related crisis or disaster, we will never take it for granted anymore. Ladies, gentlemen, and honorable judges, I know this because I already experienced this myself not so long ago. So one day, my school's water supply, which is a spring water, dried up. And that day, we had no water to use. And what makes it worse is that we all live in a dormitory. So you can imagine that so many people can use water that day. In the end, me and my friend had to go out and search for water from people's houses just to use water that day. And that was the very first time I really realized that water's effect in our daily life is really big. And I wanted to be more grateful of what we have now. Well, remember, ladies, gentlemen, and honorable judges, we can avoid disasters, but we can prepare for it and reduce its risk by working together, hand in hand. And that's all I can say in this occasion. Thank you for all of your attention. Good morning, and may we meet again in another occasion.
Okay, thank you. For now, we want to have a small break first because we want to check the microphones.
Tes, tes. Cek, cek. Cek, 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 cek. Cek, 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 cek. Cek, cek.
Tes, tes, 1, 2, 3. Tes, tes.
Tes.
Tes. Tes, tes.
Okay. Thank you for the committee and also for Ms. Fitri. And I agree with Ms. Fitri. If you want to bring the microphones, I hope that you can put it near to your mouth so the sounds will be clearer next time, hopefully. Okay, we can continue again to the next speaker. Okay, for the next speaker, we want to welcome Miss El Kaila Banani from SMA Unggulan Rushd. The time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, and the honorable judges. First of all, I would like to thank God Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who has been giving us blessings and mercies so we can attend today in good condition. I stand before you today as a representative of the countless students around the world who are passionate about making difference to one of our planet's most useful resource, water. As students, we are often find ourselves catch up with the hustle and bustle in our academic life. But it is also important for us to take a moment to consider our impact on the environment, especially when it comes to water. Ladies and gentlemen, water is an infinite resource. However, the challenges of water shortage and pollution are getting more and more real. One of the cases is reported by Tempo.co. The Environment and Forestry Ministry said that 59% of rivers in Indonesia are still severely polluted. The sources of river water pollution include oil, gas, and mining. Well, this is not only a global issue, but it is also an individual responsibility. As human beings, we need to be aware of those issues. Well, the good news is that as students, we have the power to make a significant difference through simple yet impactful actions. So, let me give you some tips to use water wisely and increase water saving awareness. The first tip is to pay attention to our daily habits. The first step to overcoming the waste of water starts from ourselves in our daily life. Let's pay attention to our daily habits. Turn off the taps when brushing your teeth, take shorter showers, and only run the washing machine or dishwashers when you have a full load. This small adjustment may seem insignificant, but collectively, they contribute to a substantial reduction in water usage. The second tip is to use water-saving technologies. As students, we are often early adopters of technology. So, let's express that enthusiasm by using water-saving technologies. Consider investing in water-saving supplies and items. Low-flow taps and showers, as well as water-efficient washing machines, can significantly reduce the consumption of water that can reduce the water consumption. The third one is to spread the magical words through social media. Now, let's talk about the power of social media. As I mentioned, Pandawa Group is one of the proofs of how effective social media can be. As students, we are the generation that living in the digital world, and what we do in our life are mostly influenced by any kinds of social media like Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. So, let's use these platforms to raise awareness about water wastage. By sharing informative posts, join in online discussions with the community, and challenge your friends to join in the water conservation movement. A viral post has the potential to reach thousands, even millions of people, which can ultimately inspire a wave of change. And lastly, you can join the social community that supports you to have more insight about water savings and water waste management. You can involve yourself in their social campaign, like what my sister does. Actually, she was not really aware about water savings. But since she is a student of the forestry study program, she realized that water is very important for all human beings in this world, including her. So she decided to join a social community that's called Greenpeace. She told me that there are a lot of benefits, such as knowledge, experiences, and friends. See, what a very interesting story. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, the, the journey towards effective waterways management starts with us as students. Through our daily habits, the usage of water-saving technologies, and the power of social media, we can make a big impact. Do not underestimate the effects of our individual and collective actions. By taking responsibility for our water use, we are opening the way for a more sustainable living. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. That is a nice speech about the polluted water in Indonesia. And as a youth, we have the responsibility to solve that together. Okay, next speaker we want to call Miss Gina Risandi M from SMA 1 Klaten. The time is yours.
No water, no life. Have you ever heard this sentence before? I'm sure you've heard it at least once in your life. You probably have read it somewhere on the internet, or maybe you've heard it from an advertisement. We've heard it so many times, but really, what is the meaning of this short sentence? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you some questions. First, did you all drink water today? Well, just a little reminder, don't forget to drink water at least 2 liters per day because our body needs to stay hydrated. And how many times do you usually take a shower a day? Well, I expected you to answer it with at least twice a day. Good morning and hello everyone. My name is Gina Risandi Medina and I'm here to deliver my speech about the importance of water. No water, no life. Now everyone, water is a very important thing in our life. Water is the basic necessity. We need water at any aspect of our life. We need water to take a shower, we need water to drink, we need water to wash our clothes, and there are still many other things. Now I want you to imagine, what would happen if half of the water we have on Earth suddenly disappeared one day? Can we still do our daily activities like the usual? Obviously no. Can farmers work on rice fields without water? Can plants and animals live without water? Can we live without water? What happens when you don't drink for, let's say, half a day? You will get dehydration, right? All of this show us that we cannot live without water. In the first place, there will be no life on Earth without water. And this is why no water, no life. But sadly, there are many people who are still not aware of the significance of water. They probably think, we have plenty of water. Even our country, Indonesia, is surrounded by water. So why should we worry? Well, then what about people who live in Africa who are short on water? Never mind Africa. What about our own people who are having difficulty finding water in Jakarta or any other parts in Indonesia? Should we ignore them? Should we not care about them? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share a little bit about my story, about my experience back when I used to live in Jakarta. Back then, it was really hard for me every time I needed to take a shower. Do you know why? Because every water that came out of the sink could not be used to clean my body. And every time I needed to cook, I had to use water products that we bought because, again, the water that came out of the sink was too dirty for us to consume. And this experience tells me that it is really hard when you have to live without easy access to clean water. In chemistry, the teacher taught me about green chemistry. And in one of the classes, we mentioned about the United Nations Environment Program. And the goal that I'm trying to talk about here is the sixth goal, that is clean water and sanitation. According to its official website, sustainable management of water resources and access to safe water and sanitation are essential for unlocking economic growth and productivity. Then, what are we supposed to do, you may be wondering? As the Indonesian young generations, firstly, we should be aware of this. We have to know the significance of water and how to manage it properly. And one method that we can use to improve water quality is the filtration method. Filtration is a process of cleaning solid particles from a fluid by passing them through the filtering medium. And the goal of this method is to filter water that has coagulated to produce water of better quality. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia is a country that has 2 seasons, and we should be grateful because we get plenty of water in the rainy season. But when the dry season comes, we will be having difficulty on finding water. And this is where we have to know how to manage water properly, both when we have plenty of water and when we're short on water. Water shortages undercut food security, while improving water management makes the national economy, the agriculture, and the food sectors more resilient to rainfall variability. All of this show us that we need to guarantee people have easy access to clean water and sanitation and water prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I have said enough, and this is the end of my speech. I hope that what I have said can be useful and be an inspiration for us all, especially the young generations, to learn more about the water management in our country. Remember all, no water, no life. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Kina. And with her motto, no water, no life. Okay, the next speaker we want to call Miss Aisyah from SMK Muhammadiyah 5 Surakarta. The time is yours.
Good morning, everybody. Now, first of all, let us express our gratitude to the presence of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has given His grace and guidance to all of you, that we can all attend to the event in good health without any lack of anything. Here, I would also like to thank the organizers of this event, the host who gave me the opportunity to deliver speeches, as well as the jury I respect and the ravens I love. On the occasion of the 10th World Water Forum in 2024, the Ministry of Labor and Public Housing, or usually as a private PUPR, held a seminar on the theme of water for shared prosperity. So, the World Water Forum is the largest cross-border forum in the world that currently focuses on discussing water issues and finding global solutions. The activities of this water forum are carried out in the hope that I can be a forum for sharing experience and innovations on a national scale in responding to the various challenges global water management. Financing for clean water projects in Indonesia and other major countries is often limited. Many developing countries and remote areas do not have sufficient to clean water infrastructure that people need. Therefore, collaborative and efforts are needed from the national community and the private sector to add and provide adequate funding clean water projects. Government should allocate adequate budgets to ensure that clean water can be built properly. Financing clean water is a shared responsibility. There are still many Indonesians who do not have this access. This is also proven that reveals that only 20% of households their drinking water needs met, while coverage for access and sanitation need is only 2.75%. One of topics that I'm thinking is important to the discuss in World Water Forum is sustainable water financing. Yes, sustainable water finance. Sustainable water finance remains an urgent water issues that need to be addressed are billions of people around the world still control access to clean water and sanitation. Financing can be done on a micro scale and computer-based, so not only in the form of speech and reading, but also implement effectively to the work can be solved immediately. This sustainable water financing for water management not only provides short-term benefits, but also contributes to the long-term sustainability of water resources. In terms of financing to meet water needs, that use of schemes and funding resources from mixed finance and microfinance programs is a solution because APBN Indonesia is unable to meet of the cost clean water projects. Therefore, we as Indonesian citizens must make an effort to meet and assist the implementations of the government's clean water. To realize the visions of cleaning water becoming familiar in Indonesians by the year 2025. That's all I can say. Good luck for all of you. Let's synergy with other government's programs. I also extend my deepest thanks to all the judges and audience present here. And I also apologize for any unpleasant words or attitudes from the judges or audience. Associations of Indonesian Hydraulic Engineering Expert, victorious, victorious, victorious. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, dear Anissa. Aisha. Oh yeah, by the way, before we continue to the next speaker, I want to have a simple information. The committee have provided the photo booths in the front of this room. So the speakers who are in the lane of speakers, maybe you can try to use the photo booths to enjoy yourself. Okay, thank you. Okay, next speakers, we want to call Miss Riyadana Nusantara from SMA Batik 1, Surakarta. The time is yours.
Greatest gratitude I express towards everybody who was given a chance to meet here by the Almighty. Have you ever thought about how do we run out of water? Water is literally everywhere, up in the skies as clouds, streaming down the sewers underneath your houses, in the stems of your houseplants, in the air around us, and even we are made out of water. The average plants are made out of 90% water, and we humans are 60%. But then, how do we get dehydrated? How do plants dry up when they're off by 10% before becoming water? Water is very important, but what is their importance? Biologically, water builds up our organs as well as protecting them from shock. Water also helps absorb nutrients from the food that we eat and transport them into our blood. And there are still many more functions that water serves to our body that keeps us alive until now. It also applies to plants and animals. But at the human level, water serves as a sustainable socio-economic development, and it is at the heart of adapting to climate change. Not only that, water is a rights issue. The rights to water entitles everyone to have access to safe, sufficient, acceptable, accessible, and affordable water. But however, physical physical presence, it's not the same as access. A water cannot be said to serve a community as a whole if it is unhygienic, unreliable, unsafely located, or unadapted for the less able and children, or non-gender segregated for toilets and washing facilities. Like, what's the point of having water if it is not suitable for consumption? So losing that rights to water is basically losing the rights to 60% of our own body, as stated in the 1945 Constitution, Chapter 33, Verse 3. The earth, water, and natural resources therein is controlled by the state and is used for the greatest prosperity of all people. But however, there are still tons of challenges people around the world have to face just to gain their rights. For example, more than a half of the world's total population, or 4.2 billion people, lacks a safe and proper sanitary services, and 297,000 children die every year because of diarrheal diseases, because of the unsafe drinking water, and once again, the lack of sanitary services. And sadly, that is not all of the problem that is present in our world. But then, how can people not get water, you may thought? Like, water is literally everywhere. But let's not forget that the water that is safe for consumption is fresh water. And fresh water is only 2.5% of the total water that is present in our earth. The rest are salt water that is not safe for consumption. But fresh water can be found nearly everywhere, in the lakes, rivers, even your sewers have fresh water. But nowadays, look at those freshwater bodies. What do they have in common? Pollution. All of them are severely polluted. Take a look at Indonesia. Indonesia is one of the countries that contributes to the 85% of domestic pollution in the entire earth. So every river or water body that passes through settlements, industries, or agriculture are severely polluted. Like such trivial things as agriculture and even settlements, our houses, our kitchen activities, they contribute to the largest pollution in our world. So how do we manage those waste? Let's try doing simple things first. Let's start from the kitchen activities. Not throwing oils into our sink. That is very important because oil can disturb the ecosystem in rivers, and not just rivers, water bodies as well. And in agriculture, we can reduce the usage of chemical pesticides that may seep into the underground water reserves, as well as dirtying the ground, making the crops less healthy for us to eat. So it's not just the water that is effective. So water is everywhere, but we humans are just not grateful enough for it. We are selfish enough to throw waste that we create ourselves into the water bodies that we're supposed to consume, our rights, preventing ourselves from our own rights. This must be changed, and the change starts from us. The consequences might not be able to be seen now, but it will be in the near future. Greatest gratitude for everyone who has been listening, and my biggest apologies for any harsh words or statements. I'm Bintang Nusantara, and I'm off.
Okay, thank you, Bintang. That's a nice speaker. Okay, the next speakers we want to call Miss Bintang Asni Raushafikar from SMA Muhammadiyah Program Khusus Kota Barat, the time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is such a nice day for us all to join this competition event and to gather together here. And I am Bintang from SMA Muhammadiyah PK Kota Barat, Surakarta. I would like to ask you a mainly basic question. How are you doing today, everyone? I'm really glad that everyone is feeling good today because honestly, if we're talking about myself, then as an introvert, I feel so nervous that even before I go to this stage, I can't stop drinking my water. And talking about water, water is really important, right, everyone? I have proved it by myself that water is important because I need water to getting rid of my performance anxiety. And so, I need water that I can't live without water. You can't live without water. Everyone can't live without water. Well, honestly, as a matter of fact, even the smallest creature in the world can't live without water. Do you know a single drop of ocean water, the small one? Yeah, it could contain so many life, including millions of bacteria and viruses. It could also contain fish eggs or baby crabs, plankton, and even small worms. And that is really, really mind-blowing, right, everyone? How could such a small piece of element carry so much life? It proves that water is super important. Actually, water is what shaped the world into what it's like right now. And so now we all realize that water is super important. But actually, I think we haven't paid attention enough to water because honestly, recently we faced so many water issues spreading all over the internet. One of the example is that in 2019, based on the Central Statistic Agency, there are 26.35% of households in Indonesia that did not have access to adequate drinking water. And if you're thinking that this only happened in small areas, then you're totally wrong. This is because in 2018, there are also 40% of the Jakarta residents who don't have access to clean drinking water as well. And I could still say so many water issues that if I talk about them all here, it will be way too much. And honestly, yes, they are concerning. Maybe some of you are wondering, why is that concerning? It is because what lack of proper water could lead us to. I could say so many. Economic decline, malnutrition, poor sanitation, and even infectious or even deadly diseases. Yes, we will face them all. And so now we all know that water is super, super important. And here's what I like to discuss about today. So I want to talk more detail about the importance of water for human. As human, of course, we already in touch with water so often that I can see that everyone here is having a bottle of water. But what exactly is the role of water for us all? Firstly, water is necessary for sanitation and drinking, and that means water is really vital for our health. Imagine if you don't drink enough water, what will happen? Of course, it will put you into a bad condition. I have proved it by myself once again because in 2022, I joined a taekwondo competition and we have to wait in the tribune and I don't get enough water. So what is happening? I was getting dizzy, I couldn't even breathe properly and that is so bad for me. And there are still so many effects we could see if we don't have enough water. For example, like kidney stones or dehydration, or it will put us in simply a bad mood. And that is not good, totally. The second point is that water is providing our life and our livelihood because it provides the industry and then the crops and also the livestock. Well, we use water as a raw material in the process, and we know it. And so we all know now that how important water is for us. But I want us to look at this in a wider point of view. Let's take a look of water's role for the earth and environment. Firstly, water is helping to tie together the earth, the land, the ocean, and also the atmosphere by the water cycle. Water cycle is basically a path that makes all water follows and it moves around the earth in different states. And secondly, water provides a habitat for animals who needed it. It will provide a breeding ground, a house, or even a temporary home. And thirdly, it provides mineral and nutrients, and even the smallest part in our body need it, which is cells, because if cells don't get water, then it would shrink and it would die. And so we all really know that how important water is for us. But maybe we don't realize what is happening with water right now because we can still easily and happily take shower or water, but actually our friends there in the slums of Solo or Jakarta, they still drink dirty, contaminated water. And so I assume that you must be wondering, well, how can we help them? Well, I can provide you two advice. First one is that we can save up water in our daily life. Well, we can take shower with less water, or we could save up our dirty clothes, or we can close the tap in the sink if we don't use them. And secondly, if we're talking about micro-scale conservation, we could plant trees, or we could plant basically any plants, and they will help to absorb more raindrops, and it will be a ground stock water. And so, I know that you must be having so many more wonderful advices, but remember everyone that the small steps also matter. By our discussion today, I hope that we will get more knowledge about water and what is happening right now. And remember everyone, together we can make the world better. This is all for today. Thank you for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Bintang. It's nice speaking. Okay, we continue again the next speakers. This is the boy now, because we all already have a lot of females. Now we want to call the boys today. Muhammad Anwar Jamil from Man 1 Surakarta, and the time is yours.
Four-year-old Charab lives in a community where water is drawn from a well with a shallow hand pump. This well didn't reach deep enough to clean water. Everyone in Charab's community knows that the water is dirty, but it's the only source of water they have. Charab's family must choose daily between the quick death of dehydration or the slow death of contamination. Most of children in Charab's community do not make it past age of 5. So let me ask you a simple question. Why does access to safe water is important? Okay, ladies and gentlemen. How is it going out there? This is a good day, isn't it? But the best thing about it is that we are all healthy and good today. All of that also because of the safe water we are drinking. My name is Anwar. You can call me that. I am a student of Man 1 Surakarta. Actually, I had an intriguing habit at school. I actually liked to drink water from the school's wash towel. Yeah, really. I usually didn't bring water bottle to school, and I normally drink water from the school's water tap. But hey, I'm still lucky. Unlike those people in Charab's community, I still drink safe water. Ladies and gentlemen, safe water is a need for all human beings, whoever you are and wherever you are. Safe water is your right, and the world has admitted that. But how many people in the world are lacking access to clean water? Currently, there are more than 2 billion people who are lacking access to clean water, and there are more than 3 billion people who don't have access to sand toilet. This could cause great impact on civilization. This could give impact on economy, on citizens' health, leading to preventable diseases like diarrhea or cholera, or give impact to economy losses from people battling waterborne disease, even poverty. Dirty water means sickness. People won't work effectively when they are sick, and this could cause many students miss attendance at school too. All these are caused by the lack of water. I'm sure some of us, or maybe even everyone here, had experienced a lack of safe water before. It doesn't feel good, isn't it? Sometimes you won't take a bath for a few days. In the worst case, the lack of drinking water. That's why we citizens should preserve. But ladies and gentlemen, why we should care for other people though? Here, let me mention this again. Safe water is everyone's right. Moreover, access to safe water gives impact to everyone in the society. Without clean water, people would resort in using and drinking contaminated water, leading to preventable disease and even lead to death. Without clean water, people will also kept live in poverty. Dirty, contaminated water source gives poor health, and this will affect both child and adult, resulting in missing jobs and missed attendance at school, resulting in a lack of economic development. In short, there will be nothing good we can gain from this, and there will be no one can take advantage in the long term. But worry not, ladies and gentlemen. The world has give a plan to provide water sanitation for all, everyone in the world. The SDGs are what we usually call Sustainable Development Goals. The sixth goal, clean water and sanitation, which aim to ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. All people in the world, from small communities to experts, had stepped up to turn up the tide. But they cannot do it alone. They need your help. If you are small citizens, then you can start by conserving water at home. Sure, it may seem small, but if every citizen admits this responsibility, our resources will last longer. Every drop counts isn't just a confident expression. Most of people and communities